Hello, and once again welcome to my workshop. Today we're going to do a wood turning, fairly special wood turning. This is going to be a bowl for Easter. Going back well before Christmas, I went to a local stockist and bought a bowl blank. Now this is a bowl blank. It's in this case it's sassafras, and what they do, they sort of half kiln dry it and cut it into nice blocks to make a small bowl. And this is a fairly rare wood. So they dip it in wax each end on the end grain for about ½ inch or so, and what that does, it allows the moisture to evaporate out of the wood, or the wood dry out through the side walls then, and it's a slower process, so it's slowing the process down to prevent cracking. But unfortunately for me, in this case, there's a crack running through there all the way through that end. Now to save this piece of wood, because it's written on here, look, $30. That's a $30 bowl blank. So I do notice some of you out there commenting on, oh, you can pick a bowl up for $5 at the local dollar shop. Well, if it's made of decent wood, here's an example. $30 just for the bowl blank. Then for someone to machine this and make it into a finished high-class bowl probably is going to work on it for about 5 hours. So at the end of it, this bowl is going to be worth somewhere in the region of $200 to $250. So that's for some of you that don't know about wood. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, or what I'm going to have to do to save this piece of sassafras, is I'm going to cut this through here and here. So I'm going to remove about ½ inch out of it. In other words, remove the cracked area out of it. And so I've got to replace it with something. Now, this is a piece of reclaimed oak. It's from a chest of drawers that was, well, donkey's years old before I got it, and it was in a sad state. So I broke it up for the material to be made into something else, so nothing gets wasted. Now this is oak. I would say it's English oak. It's, the piece of furniture was, like I say, donkey's years old, so it's probably in excess of 100 years. It could be 150 years, I don't know, but it's very, very good oak, and I wanted a contrasting colour. This is real dark oak, and I'd say it's from England too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to cut it in half and then slice a piece out of it, get a nice piece, and prepare the surfaces, and then I'm going to glue it up in between here. And as it's an Easter bowl, what I'm also going to do then is, when that glue has gone off, I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees and then take another slice, ½ inch slice out of it, and put another piece of this in, so I have a cross in dark oak inside the sassafras. So then we're going to put it on the lathe and turn it into our Easter bowl. Now that's going to take some considerable time, as in the first process of cutting the slot out and gluing this up. That's going to take about 5 hours. Then an additional 5 hours then to slice this out, glue it up, clamp it up. So that's a day just to get the this crack out of here, and you know, turn it and put another piece in to get a cross inside it. And then the turning process is, and up to finishing, is going to take about 4 or 5 hours. So you know, it's very time consuming, although most of the time today the actual work is only going to be about an hour. The rest is waiting time for the glue to go off. So just to give you some idea that making something of this nature is not done in 5 minutes. Okay, so believe it or not, this has taken 2 days to get this far. Obviously only working 30 minutes really a day. The rest of the time has been waiting for the glue to go off. So let's take it apart and see what we've got. So there we've got a block of wood all glued up now. So I'm just thinking of the best way now to hold this in the lathe. Now there's several different methods I can use, because whichever side I elect to start with is actually going to be the inside of the bowl, so we can screw into it, or you know, drill a hole and mount it however we wish. When I say drill a hole, you can put a wormwood screw in, which is held. Now you drill a hole and you wind this in, and it's held in the chuck. You do the jaws up, it's held in the chuck. I think the easiest way to deal with this piece is to just get my small mounting flange and to find the absolute center of here, which is going to be slightly offset, because the cross is offset to make it look more akin to an Easter cross. Okay, I've found the center of the material, which is just there. So now I'm just going to sight down through the center of this to that cross, and basically just screw this to that, because it really doesn't matter what I'm screwing to this. It's going to be hollowed out afterwards anyway. Okay, so 4 good wood screws is enough to hold this block of wood. Do you know, I might mark this out, and I might just nip the corners off on the bandsaw first. Having taken the corners off now, which makes it a lot easier to put on the lathe and start turning from this. So let's see what we can make out of it. So as this is a small diameter piece of material that we've laminated up, this is called a lamination when you glue several pieces of timber together to make one form. Well, that's laminating. I'm going to start off cutting or machining down now, which will be the outside and back of the bowl, with my spindle gouge. Now if this was a larger piece of material, like you normally see me put in here, really big, I would use something like a bowl gouge, because it's a much longer, larger tool, so you get better leverage on it. Now, a lot of people say to me, oh, you're using the wrong tool. Well, my grandfather told me more than 50 years ago. He said, you use the tool that works for you, providing it's not dangerous and you get the job done. That's the right tool. So all the so-called experts out there saying, oh, you can't use a bowl gauge for doing that job. Yes, you can. So here we go. Now, word of safety around, certainly around a wood lathe. Not only, now these are not just ordinary spectacles, they have a plastic bridge here which stops anything going up through here into the side of your, into the corner of your eye. And these are very tough plastic lenses, so they don't smash, they're not glass. And in addition to that, you must wear a face mask and also a respirator mask. I wear a very light one, otherwise you wouldn't be able to hear me. But I only occasionally, when I'm wood turning, wear these type of masks. So we'll start the wood turning now, and we'll just get this rounded, and then we'll start rounding the back around, and then we're going to put a tenon on the back, and I'll show you how to do all that. I'll leave the RPM on here so you can see yourself what RPM it's running at, because a lot of people ask me, what speed do you run the lathe at, do you start? Well, the lathe will tell you, because you run the piece of wood as fast as you can in RPM terms until the lathe starts to shake a little, and then that's the maximum, because the faster you can get the wood passing past the cutting edge, the quicker the job goes and the better the cut. So here we go. That's 790. And you can see the lathe is just starting to shake. the action of what I'm doing at the moment is I'm digging the tool in a very controlled manner, and I'm pushing it back. This is now relatively circular back here, but here still very hit and miss. So I'm just taking a position here and pushing in and then taking it back. It's the quickest way of getting material down to a circle. And the quicker you can do that, you know, the better off the whole process is going to be. So a little bit at a time. Don't be in too much of a hurry. Okay, well, we're nearly round now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this area up now, up here. Oh, this is going to be beautiful. It's a beautiful bowl. Look at the colours in that wood and the grain. Beautiful. A bit of a void there, I think. I don't think it's going to worry us too much. So I'm just going to get my round nose scraper now, and I'm just going to take this down smoother, get rid of some of the tooling marks. Okay, well, just a little bit there, look, I've got to take out. It's about 1/2 millimeter down deeper, I think. Okay, here we go. I'm now going to turn to a different spindle gauge. You'll notice that one has got a sort of a shallow end on it, and this one's more sort of rounded then. This is sort of similar to what they call an English grind, and this is more closely resembling a fingernail grind on a spindle gouge. So here we go. Start in the center, and this is the reason really you have the tool rest just slightly below the center height, because the back of this, which is resting on the tool rest, and to where the cutting edge is about 4 millimeter, or 3/16 of an inch. So you need to be 3/16 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch further down from the center, otherwise you wouldn't be able to cut the center of the material. So we'll just start in the center and pull it out. Same process. Makes the tool dance around a bit, but actually starting to shape the back here a bit now as well. Let's have a look at the back. Oh, that looks really nice. So now you're beginning to see maybe that what you can do with you know, a piece of wood that is split, you can cut the split out and do some interesting things to you know, make a pretty decent bowl out of it. And in this case it's going to be an Easter bowl. So now what I'm going to do is make a tenon on here. Now that is a little bit like a, you know, mortise and tenon on a joint that you see on some drawers and what have you, where there's sort of there's like a fantail, male and a female sort of receiving shape as well. So we're going to make one of those on here now, round one, so we've got something to grab hold of. So first of all, let me clean this up a little bit more. This is a skew, not for the faint-hearted, this tool. Okay, so what I'm doing now, these are a pair of calipers that I've had for probably 40 years. So what I'm doing, I'm going to be using my small chuck for this, because it's only a small bowl. So I'm just measuring now what size tenon I need to make to fit into this chuck. Now the way to do this is my method anyway. I just present this as it's spinning, and it allows me to make a mark, like a witness mark, so I know where to machine down to. I'll show you how to do that now. You don't actually put the two, you don't put the two in, just the one, and you sight with the other one. I'll zoom you in a bit so you can see. If I push this, see I'm slightly too big. That's about right. So that's a good witness mark now, that I know where to machine down to. What I can actually do is to make that more prominent, is to get a pencil and run a pencil in it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to machine some of this material around the back of here, around this, to shape the back of the bowl a little bit. And cause I'm not really sure what shape the whole overall bowl is going to be yet, but we'll get there. So I'll just work this material a bit here, which means just rotating this around a little, like that, and we'll see what we can come up with. Just doing a slight concave in here now. Change it to my round nose scraper now. I think this is turning into a bit of a long video, so grab yourself a cup of coffee. So what I'm actually doing now is, I've taken some material away there now, and I've done a concave, and I've done a finishing pass with my round nose scraper, and I didn't want to go any deeper than that because I want to keep that nice feature there as a black knot. And this is going to be the base that the little bowl actually sits on. So I'm changing my mind here a little bit, and I'm going to make I'm going to make a mortise, which is an internal V, then a surface out on this edge to hang on to this bowl, because I want to keep this, and I don't want to take any more material off here. So what I'm going to do now is just shape this. So I'm going to do a gentle concave on the outside here, and I'm going to make a mortise. So that's how to make a mortise. So what it is, these jaws, if the camera can pick that up, focus and pick that up, they're angled in two planes. They're angled on the outside here, if I can focus, angled on the outside here, but they're also angled on the inside, so you can either have a internal or external wedge, which is either called a mortise or a tenon. In this case, this is a mortise. So what we're going to do is we're going to mount this into the chuck and put it on the end of our shaft, and we'll be able to bore the inside of the bowl out. Okay, so there's a beautiful bowl. Actually, it's just turned out really, really nice. So I've done a fair bit of sanding, but I'm not finished yet. And it's beautiful. Look at the colour in that. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to place this. I'm going to place this over the jaws of the chuck, and then open the jaws of the chuck out to grasp this. That's pretty true, I think. It's not bad. Actually, in fact, I got the lathe running backwards here from when I was sanding. Switch it to forwards now. That's better. Okay, so now we come to the most interesting part for a lot of you, and that is to scallop out or machine out the inside of the bowl. Now I use several different methods, about 4 actually, to achieve that. Sometimes I'll drill the inside out, but in this case it's just a small bowl, so I'll do it all with my bowl gouge or several of my other tools that you'll see as I go along. Okay, so here we go. Let's start to hollow this bowl out. Now I'm going to use sort of a rowing mechanism. So that means I'll enter in and then row this around like so. Just to start in the middle. So on with the mask. I'm just putting a groove here. But that's as far as I want to go. I don't want to come up past this and spoil the edge of my bowl. Nice crisp edge there. Okay. Don't be too eager to take too much off. You'll get there. So this is another method I use. Start off, roll the chisel round the cutting edge and push down in. This is real hard material in the middle here. I've got to go very, very gentle with this. I've got such hard material. Well, they're all hard materials, but they're all different materials. It's tending to want to grab the chisel a little bit. So I've got it turned up now to over 1,000 RPM. I'm taking it very, very quietly. I just hope I don't have a catch and then it'll jump out from the lathe and spoil everything. But, you know, we do our best. We do what we can. In fact, I might drill the center of this out because the center seems to be really, really hard to do, and sometimes you will get that. So we'll drill the center out a bit. You can now see how much easier that is. Having the center removed. The reason being is the material isn't moving very fast past the cutting edge right in the center there. Okay, the tool is getting too far over the end of the rest now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work away at this material here, then I'll turn the rest and place it inside. Okay, so now I'm going to put the tool rest inside the bowl. Now, the reason for that is to reduce the amount of overhang of the tool over the rest. Just turn it to make sure that the rest isn't touching anywhere. Okay, so let's go. Well, that little bowl, this Easter bowl, and what makes it an Easter bowl? Well, the special cross inside the bowl. It's beautiful. The wood turned out to be quite smoky, actually, if you notice. It's very sort of smoky, dark wood inside, which was a bit of a surprise, but it was actually very, very nice. Turned out very nice. So that's what you can do. If you buy a bowl blank, or block of wood that you think you can make a bowl out of, and when it's dried out, it develops a crack. You can actually cut the crack out and layer it up with other material and make quite a presentable bowl. So I hope I've managed to show you some things maybe you found interesting today. And indeed, there are now 360 videos on both my channels. This being my main channel. I have a secondary channel too that I move some videos over to off this channel, some of the ones that are about 6 years old. And so you can go and watch those as well. And on my channels, you will see wood turning, CNC routing, shop jobs that I do around here, a little bit of furniture making, lasers, how to operate those, and I'm going to be doing more with those as well, CNC milling and conversion of a mill, and also some 3D printing and the associated programs with all those computer operated machines with Fusion 360 and laser cut and ArtCAM and some other programs too. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you come and join me again, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video because that helps a lot. So thank you for watching, and it's bye for now.